Hello. I'm here for the part 2. Yeah, but today I'm gonna talk about how to plan it, the negative consequences of doing it, and how to convince your parents to do it. I think that could be the hardest one. But yeah, I'm gonna help you with that, hopefully. So yeah, we're gonna start on how to plan a gap year. Definitely set a budget in the beginning of your gap year. You need to set a budget for yourself. It's gonna help you so much. And I would even suggest you to set a budget before you start writing down the stuff that you wanna do. So set this budget, this is the amount of money that you wanna spend on your gap year, and then list all the stuff that you want to do and see different websites. Usually the first one that pops up isn't the cheaper one, so definitely go deep on that, search a lot about it, see all the websites, see all the offers, and then get this final list with all the prices for doing all those stuff, and then see if it's still on your budget. You're probably gonna go over your budget. Set your priorities and see which ones go with your budget. If you realize that you might need to go a bit over your budget, it's fine, it's definitely fine. If you can afford it, if you're gonna work to have that extra money, that's perfectly okay, but you will be perfectly aware that you're spending this money. It's not like, oh, I wanna do this and this and this and that, and you just start doing stuff, and in the middle of it, you're like, oh my god, how did I spend so much money? That's because you didn't do your budgeting. My second advice here is to be careful when you plan to do stuff abroad. If you plan on traveling abroad, check how that country is in terms of politics. I know most people travel and they don't really care about it. Imagine Russia, if you're part of the LGBT community, they can put you in jail just because you are who you are. And in so many countries, if you're not dressing properly by accident, you could be put in jail. So check all of that before you go to this country just because it looks super interesting. World news don't show us enough. They couldn't show what is happening everywhere in the world. So some things that you don't know could be happening that could really affect your trip. So Google all of that before you go. This applies to volunteering and working abroad. There are so many organizations that offer this that sometimes they're not the most legit organizations to do volunteering or work abroad. My third advice is checking how much time you want to spend on a gap year. It could be 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. It really depends. I chose to do just 1 year. My gap year could definitely fit in 1 year. I didn't need more time. But if you feel with all the stuff that you want to do, you could benefit more with 2 years than do 2 years. In some countries, you can take just 6 months and start university in January instead of September or August. It really depends where you are. Number 4 is, if you already know what you want to do at university, is to apply on your last year of high school and defer your entry. Your place will be safe. They will keep it for you for next year, and you can spend your year without worrying about university and applying and all of that, because you're already in and you have your place there, so everything is good. But I know most people take gap years because they are not sure of what they want to do. So if that doesn't apply to you, then forget it. But I would definitely suggest that to you if you already know what you want to do. Number 5 is, if all you want to do in your gap year is travel, if you want to know the world and all of that, be aware that most universities allow you to travel abroad 1 year of your course, or 1 semester per year. I know in Portugal you can travel to 3 different countries in your degree, and that's like amazing. This really depends where you live and where you're going to university, but definitely check the opportunities to go abroad. On your year abroad or on your semester abroad, you can travel to the countries next to it too. So okay, this is not just traveling, you're doing university too. Obviously you have to focus on your studies, but you will also have the opportunity to travel a lot. So consider that too before just taking a gap year to travel. 6 is open your mind to all possibilities. Like, you have a full year to do so many stuff. Get out of your comfort zone, put yourself out there, and like let yourself grow. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the negative consequences. This part is really hard. It's really personal because I'm gonna talk about the negative consequences that I've seen on myself. I'm gonna talk about what I felt in my gap year and what I've seen other people like feeling too. So I believe like these are the most common negative consequences, but it really depends on person to person, and it could be like very personal. I think your gap year can really affect your mental health. So it's definitely something that you can work on, but your mental health can be like very fragile. For me, I felt like I was being left behind. This might sound like nonsense for people that don't take gap years, but I thought I would be fine. But then seeing like my friends like moving forward with their lives and just like going to university, meeting new people, having new friends, like being successful in their degrees, achieving stuff, and I wish I could be there for them, I could be part of it, and I wasn't. Like, that really made me feel like I was being left behind by a decision that I totally took. It was me. I decided to do that. I brought that on myself, and like, it was definitely not true. I wasn't being left behind. I was just on my journey and they were on their journey, and that's perfectly fine. Like, you should never compare yourself to other people's lives. So like, you might feel like someone is ahead of you, but like, come on, this is not a race. You are on your journey and you'll be fine. You will have time to achieve all of that if you want to. You'll be able to work through it, but right now you're trying to figure out your life. You're trying to figure out what you want to do, or you're just trying to get to know yourself. Like, a gap year is so important. So like, you might question yourself throughout that year, like, am I really growing? Is this worth it? I think I'm behind. But you're not. Those thoughts are gonna come to you probably, but you have to send them back from where they came from, because you are fine, you're doing fine, you're growing. I spent my whole year thinking I wasn't growing. I'm the same. Why did I take a gap year? Like, this didn't help me at all. And now I look back at myself, to the person I was, or even like to the person I was 3 months ago when I started this channel, and I'm like, okay, no, I really did grow. Now I look at my bank account and I think, wow, now I'm able to go to university because I work for it. Okay, like, I spend most of my year working. I gained so much. I earned money. I gained work experience. I met so many people. I grew, I matured. Obviously, I feel like I could have matured even more if I got out of my comfort zone more often, but I wasn't able to. But I will be able to at university. This is my personal opinion, but I feel like if you don't plan your year, you might end up in the end of the year thinking, I spent too much money, I didn't do all the stuff that I wanted to, I should have worked, or I should have worked more, I don't have enough money for university now. Like, you might feel lost. So you can definitely prevent that with planning. That is the one I've seen happen more often. That could happen to you or not. When you start working, you get used to that routine, you get used to earning this money, you start new habits, like simple stuff like having coffee with your friends, or having dinner out once a week, or going to the gym, starting new classes. and you just like get used to like spending your money on this type of stuff. At the same time, you're getting used to your job and you're getting better at your job, and you might even get promoted, even end up earning more money, or like starting to be important at your job. Like you get recognized, you're good at it, and that's amazing. And you have to go to university, and you're like, oh, like I really want to go to university, but at the same time I already have a job that I'm good at, a job that I've been promoted, a job where I'm recognized. That just really weighs in the decision. Like you might have to quit your job to go to university or not. If you're able to keep doing it, but now as like part-time, that's amazing. Realizing that if you go to university, you won't have that money at the end of the month in your bank account. That's really complicated, because now you have to get a new routine, you have to stop your old habits that you gain with your work. Like you're not able to afford some things that you could before. That could really affect your decision and might make you want to stay. Although I personally feel like you should go to university, for some people I totally understand if they want to keep working. Now I'm going to talk about how to convince your parents. Let's start by saying that my parents are not strict, but they were really against me doing a gap year. And when I decided to take a gap year, it was very complicated because I dropped out of university. So yeah, that's a really complicated story. The advice I'm gonna tell you is not based on my experience, but I did ask my parents, how could I have convinced them to do my gap year? Like, what could have changed their minds? And I also did some research on other people's stories and how they convinced their parents. So my advice is going to be based on that. Number one, explain them why you want to take a gap year. And if you hit them with, oh, I want to take a gap year, they're probably going to be confused. They're probably going to say no. But if you sit down and you explain to them like, oh, I want to do this because of this, this and that, and I think I could benefit because of this, this and that, and if I go to university right now, that could hurt me on this aspect. I could definitely gain more if I took this year off, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you need to be very clear with your parents, because if you're confused, that's gonna make them confused. Parents don't like insanity. This really depends on your parents, but personally I don't think like if you show them that you are uncertain about like a big decision like this one, it's a bit hard for them to like go along with it. Definitely ask their opinion, make them a part of it. My parents, they wanted me to work. Obviously I was gonna work, but they really wanted me to focus more on working instead of like traveling, and that's mostly what I did. I only traveled for 1 month and I spent 6 months working. If even after that your parents say no, I understand if you're gonna get angry at that. Try to understand, what are they worried about? Okay, it's a no, but why do you say no? Some parents might keep on saying just no, 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 I've told you it's a no. I've been through that, but calm down. Let them like think about it, give it a week or 2 weeks, a month, the time you think it's necessary, and ask them again. Be calm, be cool, just go there and ask, I know you don't want me to do a gap year, but can you tell me what you're worried about? What are you concerned about? And what they might be worried about is, oh, I think if you take a gap year, you might not want to go to university next year. Some parents might be concerned because you're 18, you're supposed to go to university at that age, or you're supposed to like move out of your place and find your own place. Your parents are not supposed to still like financially support you. I think this is something that really changes from culture to culture or from country to country. In my case, my mom moved out when she was 18, she got married at 19 and had me at 23. She was only able to go to university when she was like 30, I think so. I was so young, but I remember her like going to university. It was something really important to her. So I understood that from her point of view, like me telling her, I have this opportunity to go to university, but I don't want to go now. I want to go next year and still live with you. and be financially supported by you. I understand why she was concerned. I still lived at home, but I supported myself financially. She paid me rent by letting me live there, and she gave me food, but all the rest I financially supported myself, and I assured her that I was going to university next year, and that's how I solved my problem with my gap year. It's harder when your parents just don't want to explain to you, they just say no. It's really, really hard. Like, I would advise you to get like help from your family. Your family knows your parents better than I do, obviously, so that they might have like even better advice to you than I can have right now. And that's it, guys. I really hope this helps you. If you have any more questions, if you're concerned about something, you can always send me a message. I always read them and I will try to help you the best I can. And that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you take a gap year too, I hope you enjoy it, and comment down below all the things that you want to do. I really want to know. Okay, bye.